How's it going, Pointer people, and welcome to another episode of What's the Point? I'm today's host, Nate Wegner, and today we have the president of the Pointer newspaper with us, Cale Jacoby. How you doing today, Cale?
I'm good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. So first off, why don't you give me a brief description of the Pointer?
Sure. So yeah, we're just the campus newspaper here at UWSP. This academic year, we've shifted a lot more to the digital format with the virus and COVID and everything like that, and just kind of a little bit more of a transition to that digital mode, as that's kind of where the industry is going as well. But we just look to give students a good learning experience with learning how to produce a newspaper, write articles, interview, find good stories out there, and also just serve the Stevens Point community in the way we can by getting them reliable news and up-to-date information.
Awesome. That's really cool, yeah. So what drew you to wanting to be a part of the club initially?
Initially, well, I want to be, in the future, after I graduate, I want to go into sports journalism specifically. And I always liked writing, never written for the news before, so I thought it'd be really fun to try it out. And I contacted the advisor, Steve Hill. He was a professor in one of my classes at the time, one of the journalism classes, and got involved that way. And yeah, I just had a lot of fun with it ever since.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I know that's how some people here have gotten involved too. They were interested in sports and then ended up getting kind of wrapped into the news thing. So do you try to do sports writing, or do you do any writing for the newspaper?
Yeah, I do. It's kind of up to the editor-in-chief how involved I want to be with that. Usually I try to focus on now a lot more of the big picture stuff, editing, the other reporter stories, and giving feedback on story ideas and stuff like that. But yeah, whenever I have time, whenever I can, I definitely enjoy still writing stories as well.
All right. And then what are your other duties as the president entail?
The business side of it as well, so like budget stuff with SGA and stuff like that. And then just sort of like big picture stuff, potential changes for the Pointer, or collaborating with the advisor and other staff members on ways that we can improve in different areas, and a little bit more like specific weekly things is just kind of conducting our weekly staff meetings where we present story ideas and just figure out what kind of stories we're going to cover for that week and what kind of angles we should take on those. As well as I mentioned a little bit earlier was editing stories. I do a lot of that before they get published, just make sure that we have all the accurate information we need, that we're following the Associated Press style is typically the guideline we tend to follow for our stories. So yeah, that's typical kind of gist of what I do. Gotcha.
Sounds like you really keep yourself busy over there.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely enjoy it, but yeah, it's a busy time.
Yeah. How many people do you have helping out at the Pointer these days?
Currently, we have a smaller staff. Right now, it's myself, a business manager, a managing editor, and a few reporters as well, and that's what we have right now.
Gotcha. That's enough to manage the workload, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for that initial information. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we return, we'll learn more about a normal day at the Pointer, and we're going to play a little game that'll test the knowledge of gag news stories when we return. And welcome back. So let's get back on track. What would you say is a normal day at the Pointer?
I guess that kind of depends on the day. So I guess I could go over Monday. It's probably a busier day. So for myself, we start off early in the morning with a business meeting with our business manager. A lot of time that's discussing possible advertising opportunities, or when the budget stuff was going on, we were discussing that and figuring all that kind of stuff out. And then following that, we have our staff meeting, our editorial meeting, which will include our managing editor and our reporters, where we go over story ideas and different angles we could take on those. And then throughout the week, Well, I guess that same Monday, the managing editor and myself will also be editing stories that reporters have submitted the Sunday night prior to that. So we'll be doing our initial edits there. Then we usually get those revisions back to the reporters that night or early Tuesday morning. And then they'll revise those. The reporter will revise those, say Wednesday or Thursday-ish, and resubmit those to our website. And then shortly after that, myself, the managing editor, will go through and publish those stories. So it's kind of just like a normal weekly process where every day is a little bit different, different kind of stuff you do.
Gotcha. Sounds like a pretty short turnaround on those stories, though. They come in Sunday, and then they have to be fully out by the end of the week.
Yeah, that's typically what we try to do. It's a little it's easier to do with a digital format. That's a lot tougher to do when you have to produce the physical paper because you have to go through and do the layout and everything like that. I know last year we were producing it every 2 weeks. It was bi-weekly. So that's one of the benefits of having a more digitally based is that we can have quicker turnaround on stories and be more immediate with the news that we produce.
Yeah, that makes sense. You always want to be current with the news.
Definitely.
All right, let's unwind a little bit. Now, we've had some good answers to the questions, but we're going to play a little game called Pointless Editing. So we've gone through and we've picked out some headlines from the Pointer's Pointless edition from previous years, and it's going to be up to you to find the headlines that came from the Pointless edition, but among these are headlines that we came up with ourselves, so hopefully you can find the ones that actually came from the Pointless edition. So here we go. Let's go with round one. So your options are Guy Fieri announces 2020 presidential campaign, chemistry lab accident creates Stevens Point superhero, or recent polls shift teaching to be based off of Kahoot scores.
So I'm just deciding which one of those are true?
Yeah, which one was
right.
actually in the Pointless edition?
I'm pretty sure it's the Guy Fieri running for president.
And that is correct. Nice job. All right, let's move on to round two. So we have man found guilty for stealing a bank pen, possible 10 years sentence, Chancellor Bernie to start a breakdance group with students, or unvaccinated Stevens Point youth develops third arm, becomes baseball sensation.
I want to say it's Chancellor Bernie with the dance thing.
That is not the correct answer, actually.
Okay.
I'll give you one more shot between A or C.
All right. What was C again?
Unvaccinated Stevens Point youth develops third arm, becomes baseball sensation.
I think I'll go with that one.
That is the correct one.
Okay.
Can you imagine if that was actually...
Yeah, a little odd, definitely. Yeah, definitely whoever wrote that had a pretty creative angle on that.
Yeah, I feel like all of these are pretty creative. I got to give props to both the Pointer staff and also the staff here for coming up with some of these joke ones.
Sure.
All right, let's go on to round three. Bill Nye to bless chemistry biobuilding on Earth Day, man released from prison using a get out of jail free card, or looking for fun during finals? Me too.
Gosh, these are tough. I knew the first one was a little easier. I think I remember reading that one, but I'll go with the Bill Nye story.
And that is correct. Bill Nye. Right. Unfortunately, that didn't actually happen. It would have been great to have Bill Nye on the campus, but we can only hope one day, perhaps.
Yeah, hopefully that's a real story sometime.
I hope so. I think we all do. All right, here's the final round. One more selection of 3 different stories. All right, we have Albertson Hall elevators provide inspiration for Disney's Tower of Terror, scandal alert, Stevie Pointer is actually adopted, or track and field runners take endurance competition. 5 years later, they're still running.
I want to say Stevie Pointer, the Stevie Pointer one.
That is not correct, unfortunately. So like last time, I'll give you one more chance. See if you can get it between A or C.
Okay, I need a refresher again. What was C?
C was track and field runners take endurance competition. 5 years later, they're still running.
And what was A again?
And A was Albertson Hall elevators provide inspiration for Disney's Tower of Terror.
Gosh, I'll go with the track story.
That is not correct, unfortunately. The correct answer was Albertson Hall elevators provide inspiration for the Tower of Terror.
All right. Definitely some creative ones there.
Yeah. I mean, have you been in those elevators? I can see where they're coming from.
Yeah,
on that one.
I can see where they're coming from too.
But that was still fun. You got most of them. You're up with your pointless knowledge, I would say.
About 60%, I think. Yeah.
Something like that. So let's go to our last break, and then when we'll come back, we'll have our last few questions. So be sure to stay tuned for those.
Quiet on set.
We'll be back in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take Ben.
Live at SPTV. Mic check. Audio check. News director's adjusting the sound. Teleprompter running smoothly. Floor director, alert. Cameras are rolling. Bring in the talent. Where's the makeup artist? Anchors ready for the news. Are you ready to join SPTV? That's a wrap. Lights out.
And welcome back. So I have two more questions left for you, and they're pretty simple ones, I would say. So what's your favorite part of being in the Pointer?
I think I just really enjoy it was a little bit more last year when we had more in-person meetings and stuff, but being in just the environment of like a newsroom where people are kind of just exchanging ideas and everyone's looking for the best way to cover a story and just give people the information they need. And I think just like serving the, Stevens Point area and UWSP community in that way of trying to provide like reliable news, in a time where that's sometimes hard to find, try to be as unbiased as you can and have reliable news. So I think that's been kind of my favorite part, is just doing our best to accomplish that goal.
Yeah, that sounds like a really noble cause and a positive environment to be a part of, it sounds like.
For sure, definitely.
All right. So now we have the big question, the central question of this show. What's the point of the Pointer?
Well, I think I kind of answered a little bit with the last question there. I think, the biggest thing is just trying to make sure that we're giving the UWSP community reliable news and up-to-date news that people can trust and and also just try to make that as high quality as we can. Obviously, we're students and we're learning about the field as we go, but try to be as professional and be as accurate and do things as professionally as we possibly can. And I think it's just a great way for anyone that's looking to go into news, written news, anything like that, to get some learning experience and get some stuff on their resume and just learn a lot. And while doing that, just kind of serving the UWSP community as well.
All right, very awesome. Yeah, I think that's always great to be able to have an avenue like that for people to get some professional experience.
Definitely.
All right, well, thank you very much for being on the show today, Cale. It was great to have you here. Real quick before we go, where can people find you at the Pointer, both on and offline?
Sure. So offline, the Stevens Point office is in room 104 here at the Communication Arts Center here at UWSP. So I'm in there a lot. Sometimes the door will be open, sometimes it'll be closed. If it's closed, you can just knock on the door. Usually I'll be in there. And then my email is cjaco at 190 at uwsp.edu. So you can contact me there. Otherwise, our contact information is also on our website with the address and my email address as well. And I believe our advisor's address might be on there too. So.
All right. What's the URL for that website?
So it'll be the pointerUWSP.com, I believe.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely be sure to check out the pointeruwsp.com to check out all the content that they're doing there. Thanks, of course, for watching this episode of What's the Point on SPTV. If you want more of our content, you can check out our YouTube channel and check us out on social media. This has been Nathan Wegner with What's the Point.